DOORSLAMMER. Things are getting more intense, more brutal than ever.
Huge moment for Gary Phillips. The tyres exploded. He clouts the wall.
With the 3,500 horsepower engine leaping out of the bonnet and screaming for mercy off the start line, things do not always go to plan.
0.981 to the 60 for Morris Fabiani. Big moment for John Zapier. Goodness me, that is enormous.
The driver doesn't sit central in the car. Suspension tuning is tricky, and the fundamental setup of these cars, which can roar past you at over 400 kilometres per hour, means to always expect the unexpected.
Some fast facts now for the fastest cars on the planet. Top DOORSLAMMER's running methanol-burning engines and some gears they've got to shift through down the quarter mile.
They must be based on Australian or US sedans. We've got a couple of national records. The time is held by John Zapier, 5.82, and the speed is Fabietti at 403 clicks.
Great crowd on hand at Western Sydney International Dragway for round one of Top DOORSLAMMER, the Fuchs Australian hat.
One man who loves living life in fast forward is Deno Brzezinski. So it's no surprise his idea of kicking back involves the freedom of a Harley Davidson.
I think the man with the most toys wins. So I've got quite a few toys, down from cars, from Porsches to Ferraris. The Harley rates number one. Mate, I've just got that passion. I just love Harleys. So I don't know about religion. I'm not really sort of a religious person, but I'm very religious to the hog. Mate, they're just so awesome. Put the helmet on, forget the ex-wife, the ex-girlfriends, just go for it.
Even though it doesn't have 4 doors or 5 seats, Deno believes his Harley Softail makes the perfect family vehicle.
Oh, the kids just love going around the block. When they grow up, I think they'll be on the back of the bike with me most of the time. They're just such an awesome machine. Mate, I just love it. Forget out all your problems and all that noise and just ride away into the sunset.
Plenty more qualifying to come. This is Top DOORSLAMMER at the Fuchs Australian Nationals. Only on one network too. Not sure on that one. You'd think not, the way this session is going. Deno Brzezinski in the Pro Comp entry. Great to see some new sponsorship support for the Sydney sider. Currently in the number 9 position. Needs to improve. Go better than a 6-1-6
at the moment with Valeri. Now, Deno has been sitting on the bump. They've been passing it around like it's no one's business. Brand new race car for Deno Brzezinski. He's been testing it, going through a lot of tyre shake. Pro Comp Motorsport on board to help him out. The car looks fantastic. And this looks quick.
And it is 6:02. Sparks at the finish line, but that is good enough to put him into number 7. Number 7 with a 6:02.
That's almost scary, isn't it? Noel Parker and the team will be very happy with this one. The new Murray Anderson car has got down, and it sounded like a few short shifts. Hopefully it didn't cause a problem.
The movement of the car in that direction. Deno Brzezinski in the Pro Comp Motorsport machine.
I've seen that somewhere before.
What's it like in there, Chad, after the burnout? It must be amazing.
The noise and the vibrations through your feet during the burnout are really quite amazing. I can't stress how little visibility you have inside these cars when you've got the balaclava, the helmet, the race seat, and then this giant supercharger sitting in front of you. It's amazing what these guys are capable of doing.
And then, of course, when they hit the go pedal, it's like an elephant sitting on your chest.
Everything went into cyberspace.
And I've got to say, you haven't got the most muscly chest I've ever seen.
Now, last time these two met, you got to go back to the 08 Summer Nationals when Deno became the first man to run a 5 and lose a drag race. Morris Fabietti is the hot contender in Top DOORSLAMMER at the moment.
And Morris Fabietti knows the next zone for him has to be 5.8. Guess what? He's going back to the States soon to learn, to look, to acquire more components. It's a never-ending quest in Top DOORSLAMMER to stay on top of the heat. He leads the point score. He wants to extend it here. Oh, wow. Well, it's not going to happen. And Deno Brzeski, whoa, that looks a pretty nasty engine issue past the finish line, 6.15, but he's got the win light.
Well, on board with Fabietti, this thing's gone straight into tyre smoke, and he's decided to get off it. I hope that doesn't have anything terminal damage. Now, on board with Deno, this has hopefully not done a lot of damage as it's gone through the finish line, because he's going to be out in the semi-finals. It did look like it blew a fuel line off. Let's look, left of screen. Deno Brzeski in the Pro Cop Camaro at about half track. Fuel line, yeah, there we go. Fuel line comes loose. Now, that's either leaned out the motor and done a lot of damage, or it's just like an oil breather cap. Only 4 remain at semi-finals time at Top Door Slammer, and this man, believe it or not, of all the things he's won, Dean, from all around Australia, has never won Top Door Slammer at the Nationals. John Zappia.
That is amazing. But over the past few seasons, it's a bit about ticking boxes for the West Aussie. Started from humble beginnings, it's fair to say. Deno Brzeski knows what it's like to run 5 seconds, knows what it's like to run aggressively. He needs to, obviously, against this car. What a return. They suffered enormous damage at the Andra Pro Series opener at Willowbank, and here they are in Sydney, this vital round of the championship. Of course, next up, we see these awesome door slammers at the Perth Motorplex. For more information, check out motorplex.com.au. In fact, several killer Andra Pro Series rounds ahead of us in the West. And speaking of the West, 2 West Aussies in the semi-finals. It could be 2 West Aussies in the final, but Deno Brzeski, for one, will have something to say about that. Whole shot with Deno, but the win to John Zappia, 591. What a return. I'm sure some of his rivals, Chad, were hopeful he'd strike a bit of a curveball with a reconfigured car.
Well, it hasn't happened. They've been creeping up on it, creeping up. Look at the butterflies opening and closing for Deno Brzeski. He had this thing set to kill. He really wanted to make sure he's going to go and throw as much into this car, but just wheel spin, smoking the tyres, and Zappia streaking away to another final.
You've really got a 60-foot well. You've got to leave hard to get the killer ET. Deno threw it. Obviously out. It was aggressive in the clutch.
Yeah, well, you got to...